one thing! Just stop him from training!
I won't let you beat me to Mommy! Stop it! You're being a boy!
Get out of here, Shoto! This has nothing to do with you!
Shut up, Mom! You don't know anything!
I tried my best. He wouldn't listen.
He's your problem now! You deal with this! Be of use for once!
What do you see when you glare at me like that? Please don't look at me. With those horrible eyes. Those eyes.
Can men atone for their sins? Endeavor is the #1 hero, a symbol of strength and hope. But to his family, he is a monster, a villain. He abused his wife, neglected his children, drove his oldest son to insanity. Just one of these sins alone would be enough to label Endeavor a monster. But he did all of them. It would be easy to see him as irredeemable, but over time, he begins to change, questioning his past, his role as a hero, a father, and he asks himself, what can I do for my family after all this time? He's not asking for forgiveness, but to atone for his sins. In this video, I'm going to give you the lessons you can learn from Endeavor on how to carry the burden from past mistakes, how to move forward, and atone for them. I was 16 when I got into My Hero Academia. The focus is on kids that were my age, learning how to become the heroes they dreamed of. But out of all the characters, I found myself resonating with Endeavor the most. This abusive piece of shit and the most flawed man in a world filled with hopeful and upstanding heroes was the most interesting character to me. He's the #1 hero, and yet he is an abusive asshole who his whole family hates. His identity is a contradiction, but that doesn't stop him from trying to become a better man despite all of his failures. Growing up, we like to imagine that we are the heroes of our own story, that we would never do anything bad, that all of our actions, even the hurtful ones to others, are justified because of how they wronged us or how they don't understand us. When I was a kid, I believed I was the hero of my story, that when I did bad things that hurt others, it was either because I was justified or they deserved it in some way. But I'm 25 now, and I realize that my story is not that simple. The truth is that I have hurt the people I claim to love. I've argued with my parents, insulted my brother, ignored my girl, and even though I want to think of myself as a good person, I've done a lot of bad things in my life. While Endeavor is an extreme case of doing evil against his family, his story isn't that different from any other man. Every man imagines he is the hero of his story and is doing what he believes is best. Endeavor was consumed with getting stronger, and he did what he thought was best for his family. No matter how twisted his actions were, he was able to justify it in his mind. He is not a monster. He is not evil. He's just human, which means that we are just as capable of justifying our actions no matter how we hurt others the same way he did. Endeavor has the same dream every day, one where his family is sat around the dinner table, able to laugh about the simple things and enjoy a meal together. But he is never sat at the table. He is always watching them from far away. The things Endeavor did go beyond what an apology can fix. Even years of saying sorry wouldn't fix the fact that his family is broken because of him. His children hate him for what he did and can never forget his sins. But even still, he keeps moving forward, doing his best to atone for his sins and become the father they needed when growing up. Even with his change of heart, it doesn't change all the hurt he caused in the past. But that's not an excuse for him to run away, give up, or quit on changing what he can do now. He is always asking what can he do for his family after all these years. What would you do if you realized you were the cause of pain for others? Those you claim to love? Would you be able to admit that you are responsible for their pain, or would you try to blame them maybe someone else, or some trauma from your past, or maybe even try to justify it. Being a man is learning how to accept the burden of our past mistakes and hurt. It's inevitable that we will argue and hurt others, even if it was a mistake that we regret. We can't change what we've done. All we can do is ask ourselves, what can we do about it now? If you want to become a better man but are currently struggling with controlling your impulses, whether it's your anger, weed, or alcohol, doom scrolling, or porn, I have created the Impulse Mastery Blueprint, which helps you go from being controlled by your impulses to becoming the master of them. If you're interested, check it out. The link is down below. Endeavor sees himself clearly for the failure of a father, man, and hero he is. His path towards redemption is more like descending into hell. He has to come face to face with his mistakes, weakness, and all the pain he caused his family and endure it no matter how much pain he is in himself. Every time I've hurt those around me, it's not my first reaction to realize I have to atone and I have to do what's right. Usually my first reaction is I feel ashamed about myself, I'm angry at myself, and I want to run away and ask for forgiveness because I can't deal with the uncomfortable feeling of knowing that I've hurt someone, and I immediately want them to forgive me so that I don't have to deal with the feeling that I'm facing. And if you think about it, it's pretty selfish to ask for forgiveness from someone that you just hurt and make them responsible for dealing with your uncomfortable emotions and putting it on them to make things right by making them accept the apology. Because if they don't accept the apology, what do you do then? You can say that, oh, you tried and you apologized, but they wouldn't accept it. But that's not what a man does. When a man does something that they know is wrong, that's when you have to take actions. You have to see what you did and realize that you have to make a change. Otherwise, things will just stay the same. And that's something that I've learned from looking at Endeavor and realizing that he wasn't constantly begging for forgiveness. What he was focused on was atoning, which meant that he was focused on the actions that he had to take to make things right. Endeavor is atoning by taking it into his own hands to do what he thinks is right for his family now. When he remembers the dream he has of his happy family, he knows that for them to enjoy that moment, he can't be in that picture. Even though he wants to be at the table, he does it because he wants to give them a chance to live a happy life free of him. Every action he takes while atoning is never about apologizing or seeking forgiveness. It's about doing what is best for their future. This form of masculinity, of shouldering the burdens of the past, is often lost in our world. When most people apologize, they do it quickly and move past the wrong they did and act as if nothing happened. Most people think this is enough to be forgiven and move forward. You see it all the time with people, even on YouTube, where they give some quick apology video and move on as if they didn't do something wrong. They don't change anything about how they think or behave. Everything that led to them being fuck-ups stay the exact same, and it's no surprise when the behavior repeats itself. How many times have you apologized but didn't mean it? How many times have you argued about the same thing with someone because nothing changes? If the people you hurt never forgave you, would you still carry the weight and do what's right? When you apologize, are you trying to change or just trying to make yourself feel better? Endeavor only learned how to atone when he stopped thinking about himself and what he wanted and started seeing how the pain he caused impacted his family and what they want and need now. When he became the #1 hero, he asked himself, what sort of symbol could he be for others? Through his actions, he became a symbol of atonement and responsibility, a man who is always trying to improve and make amends for his sins. Even when the burden is painful, even unbearable, he won't ever stop because he sees it as his responsibility to do right by his family after all his failures. That's the type of man he is, and this mentality is something that's missing in most men. Actions are the only thing that lead to true change in a man. No matter how nice of an apology you give to others, if you don't change your actions, nothing will change. Being a man means realizing when you've hurt others and accepting the fact that you need to change your actions so that it doesn't happen again. Because by doing that, we show that they can learn to not only trust us, but respect us and know that we can lead them to a better future and not repeat the same mistakes from our past over and over again. Endeavor shows us that being a man isn't about words. It's about carrying the weight of your past and changing because you don't want to repeat it. The next time you argue with someone close to you, don't just ask for forgiveness. Ask yourself, what can I do now to make it right? Being a man is not about being perfect and never making mistakes, but realizing how to carry the weight after you've fallen short of who you want to be.